History remembers world conquerors as princes born in marble palaces, but the man who built the largest empire in human history was born in blood and raised in ice. His name was Temujin. Long before he became Genghis Khan, he was just a starving boy, abandoned in a frozen wasteland. His nightmare began when his father, a noble chieftain, was secretly poisoned by a rival clan, the Tatars. Without a strong leader, the tribe showed no mercy. They packed their camps and rode away. They abandoned the widow and her children to the unforgiving winter, where temperatures plummeted to minus 30 degrees. In the agonizing cold, Temujin didn't break. He adapted. He learned the only law that mattered on the steppe. The weak perish. The strong take. And this brutal philosophy was soon sealed in blood. When his older half-brother continually stole the little food he hunted, Temujin didn't beg for mercy. He didn't cry to his mother. With a single, cold-blooded shot, the 9-year-old boy executed his own brother. The innocent child died that day in the snow. In his place stood an apex predator who realized that to survive in a world of wolves, he had to become the alpha. Years passed. Temujin survived the ice, only to be hunted by men. The rival clans knew the wolf pup was still alive. Captured by the Taichu tribe, he was stripped of everything and locked in a heavy wooden kongui, a walking prison. But you cannot chain a blizzard. During a drunken feast, he turned his punishment into a weapon. He smashed his guard, slipped off the wooden collar, and vanished into the dark, freezing river. He didn't return to beg his old tribe. Instead, he started gathering outcasts, runaways, and the forgotten. He broke the ancient rules of the steppe. He didn't care about royal blood or noble birthline. If you were loyal and you were lethal, you became his brother. He wasn't building a tribe. He was building a military machine. In 1206, the outcast united the warring tribes. He was no longer Temujin. He was Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. The world thought they were just an unorganized horde of barbarians. They were dead wrong. They were the most lethal military machine in history. They didn't scream or charge blindly. They fought in terrifying absolute silence, guided only by the waving of black flags. Their deadliest weapon was the feigned retreat. They would attack, pretend to panic, and run away, tricking arrogant armies into chasing them. Once the enemy was exhausted and their ranks broken, the trap snapped shut. The hunters instantly became the hunted. Genghis Khan didn't want to fight every battle. He used pure terror as a weapon. Surrender and live. Resist and be erased. The Khwarezmian Empire learned this the hard way. They executed Genghis Khan's trade ambassadors. It was the worst mistake in human history. The Mongol war machine shifted from conquest to pure annihilation. They erased entire empires from the map, bringing the apocalypse to the east. In 1227, the Great Wolf died. Genghis Khan took his last breath. The world sighed in relief, but the nightmare wasn't over. The empire he built was a self-sustaining machine. His sons and grandsons pushed the borders beyond imagination. From the shores of the Pacific Ocean to the gates of Vienna, 24 million square kilometers, a quarter of the Earth's landmass, conquered by men in tents. His grandson, Kublai Khan, did the unthinkable. He conquered China and established the Yuan dynasty, moving from a saddle to a golden throne. But here is the paradox of the Mongols. After the apocalyptic slaughter came the Pax Mongolica, the Mongol peace. It was said that a woman carrying a sack of pure gold on her head could walk from one end of the empire to the other without a single scratch. Under their terrifying iron grip, the Silk Road reopened. East and West finally connected. Marco Polo walked this road. Trade exploded. Gunpowder, paper money, and the compass flowed into Europe. The Mongols didn't just conquer the world, they dragged it into a new era. The starving boy from the frozen steppe had become the father of the modern globe. The empire was untouchable. No army on earth could defeat the Mongol war machine. But an empire stretching across 24 million square kilometers had one unbeatable enemy: its own size. It took months for a messenger to just cross the empire. Without a central leader, Genghis Khan's grandsons turned on each other. The ultimate civil war began. The empire violently shattered into four massive pieces: the Golden Horde, the Ilkhanate, the Chagatai, and the Yuan dynasty. But something stranger happened. The conquerors were conquered by the cultures they defeated. They traded their tents for palaces and their wolfskins for silk. In the Middle East, they became Islamic sultans. In China, they became Buddhist emperors. The starving wolves of the steppe had become tame dogs of the city. Then came the final blow. The very trade routes they created to connect the world brought the Black Death. The plague wiped out millions, shattering their economy. One by one, the mighty Khanates collapsed. The greatest empire in human history simply evaporated, fading back into the frozen dust of the steppe. Temujin was born with nothing, conquered everything, and left a world forever changed. History is brutal, but we are here to provoke it. Hit subscribe, and let's uncover the next lie.